The great hall of the Galactic Council stretched for miles. Its walls were made of living crystal that pulsed with soft blue light. Thousands of alien beings filled the chamber, their forms strange and wonderful. Some floated like clouds of gas. Others stood on 6 legs, their bodies covered in gleaming metal plates. A few were so large they needed special platforms just to fit inside. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the entrance, her heart pounding. Behind her, 20 human delegates waited nervously. Their simple gray suits looked plain compared to the glowing robes and natural armor of the other species. "Remember," Sarah whispered to her team, "stay calm no matter what happens." A loud chime echoed through the hall. Everyone fell silent. "The Council recognizes the humans of Earth," announced Chancellor Vraxis. He was of Rex, a being made entirely of purple crystal. His voice sounded like wind chimes. "You may approach." Sarah walked forward. Her footsteps echoed in the massive chamber. She could feel thousands of eyes watching her. Some were actual eyes. Others were sensors, heat detectors, and things she couldn't even name. She reached the center platform and bowed slightly. "Honorable Chancellor, esteemed Council members, humanity thanks you for this opportunity. We know we are young compared to your great civilizations. We have much to learn." A rumbling laugh came from the left side of the hall. Sarah turned to see Warlord Garn of the Cauldron Empire. He stood 12 feet tall, covered in black scales and battle scars. "Young," Garn's voice boomed. "You are infants. Your ships crawl through space while ours fold reality itself. Your weapons are firecrackers. Your lifespans are mere blinks of time." More laughter rippled through the chamber. Sarah's jaw tightened, but she kept her face calm. Chancellor Vraxis raised one crystalline hand. The laughter faded. "Warlord Garn speaks harshly, but he raises valid points. Humanity, you have petitioned for Council membership for 30 years, yet you offer us nothing. No advanced technology, no military strength, no resources we cannot take from 1,000 other worlds. Why should we accept you?" Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment she had prepared for. "We offer what many here have forgotten," she said clearly. "We offer the ability to solve problems that strength alone cannot fix. The contested fringe has been at war for 200 years. 3 species fight endlessly. Your peacekeepers have failed. Your warriors have failed. Let humanity try. Give us 1 year. If we bring peace to the fringe, grant us full membership. If we fail, we will withdraw our petition for 100 years. The hall erupted in noise. Some aliens buzzed with excitement. Others hissed in disbelief. A voice like singing crystals cut through the chaos. Ambitious words from soft creatures. This came from Speaker Nalith of the Theshan Collective, beings of pure energy contained in floating spheres. "The Fringe has consumed 20 mediator teams. What makes you think you will succeed?" "Because we have nothing to lose," Sarah replied, "and everything to prove." Chancellor Vraxis consulted with other council leaders. They spoke in frequencies Sarah couldn't hear. Finally, he turned back to her. "Very well. The Council accepts your proposal as entertainment value." He said those last words with obvious mockery. "You have 1 standard galactic cycle. We will watch your efforts with great interest." The chamber filled with laughter again, louder this time. Sarah heard the word suicide in 3 different alien languages. She saw beings literally holding their sides, shaking with amusement. Sarah bowed again. "Thank you, Chancellor. We will not disappoint you." As the human delegation left the Great Hall, Sarah could still hear the laughter echoing behind them. Her assistant, James Park, walked beside her. His hands were shaking. "They're making fun of us," James said quietly. "They think we're going to die out there." "Let them laugh," Sarah said. Her voice was steady now. Almost too steady. "Let them laugh while they can." Back in their small ship, far from alien eyes and ears, Sarah locked herself in her private cabin. She pulled out a secure communication device, one that used old Earth encryption that no alien had ever seen. She typed a single message. "Council accepted the bait. They're not watching carefully. They think we're weak. Proceed to Phase 1. Activate the sleeping network." 3 seconds later, a reply came back. "Understood. Waking the Harbingers." They'll never see us coming. Sarah looked out the window at the beautiful galactic core where millions of stars blazed. Somewhere out there, in the darkness between those stars, humanity had been working in secret for 50 years, building, planning, preparing for this exact moment. The aliens laughed at humanity's weakness. They laughed at human fragility. They laughed at human ambition. They had no idea what humans did when people underestimated them. Sarah smiled coldly. Let the game begin. Nexus Station floated in the darkness between three war-torn star systems. The station was old, scarred by weapons fire, and barely functional. This was the contested fringe, where three alien species had been killing each other for 2 centuries. Sarah Chen's shuttle docked at the station with a soft clang. Through the window, she could see debris floating in space, the remains of destroyed ships and dead dreams. Welcome to hell, muttered James Park as they stepped onto the station. The docking bay was chaos. Scaroth warriors looking like armored bears with 4 arms patrolled one section. Pelixian merchants, insect-like creatures with translucent wings, controlled another area. The Jinn Ascendancy's religious zealots, tall beings wrapped in glowing robes, occupied the 3rd zone. Each group glared at the others with pure hatred. A Scaroth commander approached, his weapons ready. You are the human mediators? We are, Sarah said calmly. The commander laughed, a sound like grinding rocks. The last mediators lasted 3 days before they ran away crying. How long will you last, softskins? As long as it takes, Sarah replied. She divided her team immediately. 5 humans went to live with the Scaroth. 5 went to the Pelixians. 5 went to the Zen. Sarah kept the rest with her at the neutral zone. What's the plan? James asked privately. We listen, Sarah said. Really listen, something the others never did. Days became weeks. The humans didn't bring weapons or threats. They didn't make grand speeches. They simply lived among the aliens, learned their languages, ate their food, and asked questions. Sarah ate fermented meat with Scaroth warriors and learned they fought because they feared losing their hunting grounds. She attended Pelixian trade meetings and discovered they needed rare minerals to save their dying home world. She prayed with Zen priests and found they believed this region was sacred to their ancestors. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, something else was happening. On the Vrex homeworld, Chancellor Vraxis watched holographic reports of the human efforts. He shared them with other council members as entertainment during their meals. Look at the humans playing peacemaker, he said, his crystalline body vibrating with amusement. They think talking will stop 200 years of war. But Elder Thessian Zalvek, one of the oldest beings in the council, noticed something strange in the background of these reports. Chancellor, Zalvek said slowly, have you noticed the increase in human vessels throughout council space? Vraxis paused. What do you mean? Zalvek pulled up star charts. Small green dots marked human ships and stations. There were hundreds of them now, scattered across dozens of systems. Mining operations, research stations, colony ships, trade outposts. They've multiplied significantly in the past 50 years, Zalvek observed. Each one requested permission properly. Each one seemed harmless. But look at the pattern. The green dots formed a web across the galaxy, connecting major council worlds, trade routes, and strategic locations. Curious, Vraxis admitted, but they're just civilian operations. Scientists and miners. Nothing threatening. Zalvek said nothing more, but he kept watching. Back in Nexus Station, Sarah made her breakthrough. After 6 weeks of patient work, she called all 3 species to a meeting. I know why you're really fighting, she announced. It's not about resources, or territory, or gods. It's about fear. Each of you is terrified the others will gain an advantage and destroy you. The room exploded in denial, but Sarah raised her hand. I have a solution, a shared governance zone. Humans will administrate this region for 50 years. We have no interest in your resources. No history here, no bias. We'll ensure fair distribution and protection for all 3 species. After 50 years, you choose your own path together, or we leave. The Scaroth commander growled. The Pelixian queen chittered nervously. The Gen High Priest hummed in thought. We will consider this, the priest finally said. For the first time in 200 years, the 3 species began serious negotiations. Sarah allowed herself to hope. Papers were drafted. Treaties were written. Peace seemed possible. Then everything shattered. Warlord Garn's fleet dropped out of quantum space directly above Nexus Station. 50 Calderine warships, each bristling with weapons that could crack planets. Garn's face appeared on every screen. Enough of this human foolishness. The fringe belongs to the strong. Surrender now or be destroyed. Alarms screamed. The station's weak shields activated, but everyone knew they'd last minutes at best. The three feuding species forgot their negotiations and scrambled for their own ships. Panic spread like fire. Sarah walked calmly to the communication center. James ran after her. "Sarah, we need to evacuate." "No," she said quietly. She opened an encrypted channel that reached all the way to Earth. "This is Ambassador Chen, authorization code Midnight Sun, requesting immediate deployment of Protocol Eschaton." A voice responded instantly, confirmed. Authorization accepted. Waking the Harbingers. Sarah switched to open broadcast, her voice carrying to every ship in the system, to Garn's fleet, and to the Galactic Council chambers light years away. To all parties, stand down immediately. This is your only warning. In the Council chambers, Chancellor Vraxis received the same broadcast. The assembled aliens burst into laughter. "Warning?" Garn roared with amusement. "What will you do, human? Talk us to death?" Sarah looked out at the approaching warships and smiled coldly. "No," she whispered. "We'll show you what happens when you underestimate humanity." Her finger hovered over a single button. Everything was about to change. Sarah pressed the button. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Garn's warships continued their approach, weapons charging. On the Galactic Council screens, aliens laughed harder. Then, space itself began to tear, not with the clean shimmer of quantum drives or the bright flash of warp gates. This was different. Reality rippled like water, bending in ways that made sensors scream and navigation systems fail. Around Nexus Station, 12 massive structures appeared from nowhere. They had been there all along, hidden by technology the Council had never seen. Each structure was 5 miles long, covered in geometric patterns that hurt to look at directly. But that wasn't all. Across the contested fringe, 40 more structures decloaked. Throughout Council space, hundreds appeared simultaneously. Near Vrex trading hubs, orbiting Caldrine military worlds, floating silent near Pelixian colonies. They had been hiding in plain sight, disguised as asteroids, debris fields, and background radiation. Every single one had been built inside what the galaxy thought were harmless human mining operations and research stations. Chancellor Vraxis stopped laughing. His crystalline body went completely still. What are those?" Someone whispered in the council chamber. Sarah's voice broadcast across every channel in the fringe. Calm, cold, certain. Warlord Garn. Council members, citizens of the galaxy. Humanity did not come to the stars unprepared. We simply came quietly. On Garn's flagship, alarms blared. His weapons officer shouted, "Sir, energy readings are off the scale. Each of those structures has more power than our entire fleet." Garn's confident smile faded. "Impossible. Humans don't have that technology." "Allow me to demonstrate," Sarah said. One of the structures near Nexus Station rotated slowly. A single port opened on its surface. No visible beam fired, no missile launched, but an uninhabited moon on the edge of the system, a dead rock that had orbited there for billions of years, simply stopped existing. One moment it was there, the next moment there was only empty space and a rapidly dispersing cloud of energy. Complete silence fell across all channels. Sarah continued speaking, her voice echoing in the shocked quiet. "These are Harbinger platforms. Humanity spent 200 years in a cold war with itself, developing weapons that could destroy our entire civilization. When we finally achieved peace, we didn't destroy this knowledge. We improved it. We miniaturized it. We prepared." She pulled up historical data, broadcasting it to everyone. Images of old Earth, divided and armed. Plans for weapons that could burn atmospheres, shatter continents, collapse stars. When we reached the stars and found the galaxy laughing at us, we made a choice. Every colony ship carried not just people, but construction materials. Every mining operation had a secondary purpose. Every research station was also a military installation. For 50 years, while you watched and mocked us, we built. In the council chamber, panic erupted. The younger species screamed for immediate action. The Pelixian ambassador fainted. A Skaroth delegate roared for war. But Elder Zalvek of the Tessian Collective spoke quietly, his energy form pulsing with what might have been admiration. Fascinating. They weaponized our contempt, Chancellor Vraxis calculated frantically. The humans had enough firepower distributed throughout council space to cripple every major civilization simultaneously. They had done it under everyone's noses, hiding behind their reputation as weak and primitive. This is an act of war, Vraxis declared. This is an act of survival. You made us prove our worth through strength, so we did. But we're not starting a war. We're ending one. As she turned her attention back to Garn. Warlord, you have 60 seconds to withdraw your fleet from the fringe. If you fire a single shot, all 12 platforms here will fire on your ships. Your shields won't help you. Your armor won't help you. Nothing will help you. Garn's face twisted with rage, but his officers were already shouting warnings. Their sensors showed the platforms locking on to every ship in the fleet. 45 seconds, Sarah said. Sir, we have to retreat, Garn's tactical officer begged. 30 seconds. Garn slammed his fist down. All ships, withdraw. Quantum jump on my mark. The Cauldron fleet vanished in flashes of twisted light, fleeing the system as fast as their drives could carry them. The three feuding species at Nexus Station stared at the platforms in stunned silence. The Skaroth commander approached Sarah slowly, his weapons forgotten. You had this power all along? He asked. Yes, Sarah said simply. You could have threatened us, forced us to obey. We could have, but that's not peace. That's just delayed war. Sarah gestured to the treaty documents still sitting on the conference table. The choice is still yours. But make it knowing that humanity doesn't bluff and doesn't threaten lightly. Within 2 hours, all three species signed the treaty. The contested fringe had peace for the first time in 2 centuries, but the real confrontation was just beginning. The Galactic Council summoned Sarah immediately. Chancellor Vraxis's message was cold and furious. Ambassador Chen, you will appear before the Council within 24 hours. You will explain this betrayal, and you will dismantle every one of those weapons platforms, or the entire Council will unite against Earth. Sarah read the message and smiled without humor. We're coming, she transmitted back, but the platforms stay active until humanity gets the respect we've earned, not as beggars at your door, as equals. She closed the channel and looked at James. Get ready. The hard part starts now. James stared at her. That was the easy part? Sarah nodded. They're afraid now. Fear makes people do stupid things. We need to show them there's a better path. Outside, the Harbinger platforms hung in space like sleeping giants waiting. The galaxy would never laugh at humanity again. Sarah stood before the Galactic Council once more, but this time nobody laughed. Armed guards surrounded the human delegation. Energy shields hummed at maximum power. Half the council members wore battle armor. They looked at Sarah like she was a bomb about to explode. Chancellor Vraxis's crystalline form glowed angry red. Ambassador Chen, you have violated every principle of galactic trust. You built weapons of mass destruction in our space without permission. You hid military installations disguised as civilian operations. This is an act of war. No, Sarah said firmly. This is an act of self-defense. You judged us weak and laughable. You tested us by sending us to a war zone. You never bothered to learn who we really were. That was your mistake, not ours. Warlord Garn stood, his massive form shaking with rage. Your platforms must be destroyed immediately. No single species can hold such power. Why not? Sarah shot back. You have planet-killer missiles. The Vrex have quantum disruptors that can collapse entire star systems. The Thessians can manipulate solar fusion, are not any more power than anything else. Every major power here has weapons that could destroy civilizations. You're just angry that humans have them too. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some aliens nodded reluctantly. Others hissed in fury. Elder Zalvek's energy form pulsed thoughtfully, She makes a valid point, Chancellor. We fear humanity because they achieved in 50 years what took us millennia. Perhaps the question is not whether they should have such weapons, but what they intend to do with them. Vraxis turned to Sarah. Fine. What do you want? Galactic dominance? Tribute? Resources? Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment everything depended on. We want peace, she said. Real peace. Not the tense standoff you call order. We propose the Avalon Accords, a mutual disarmament treaty. Every council species, including humanity, reduces strategic weapons by 40% over the next 10 years. We use human-designed monitoring systems to ensure compliance. No species gets to be the supreme power. We all step back together. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some species shouted approval. Others screamed betrayal. Fights nearly broke out. But Sarah wasn't finished. She pulled up data projections, showing them on every screen. Look at these numbers. Chancellor Vraxis, your Vrex collective spends 60% of your economy on military defense. Warlord Garn, the Kaldream Empire has been in constant war for 3 centuries. Your population is declining because too many die in battle. This arms race is destroying all of you, and you're too proud to admit it. The Vrex delegates went silent, checking her numbers. They were correct. Painfully correct. Sarah continued, her voice softening. Humanity built the Harbingers because we were terrified of you. We came to the stars hoping for friendship and found contempt. We prepared for the worst because we didn't trust you'd let us live in peace, but we don't want to live in fear forever. Do you? Long silence filled the great hall. Finally, a small voice spoke. Ambassador Prill of the Pelixians, the insect-like species from the fringe, stepped forward. My people were part of the war that just ended. For 200 years, we killed and died for resources we could have shared. The humans showed us another way. Perhaps they can show all of us. The Vrex delegates huddled together, communicating in frequencies others couldn't hear. Finally, Chancellor Vraxis spoke. The Vrex Collective has calculated the economic benefits of the Avalon Accords. They are substantial. We agree to participate, with conditions. One by one, other species agreed. Not all of them, the Kaldreen stormed out, refusing to reduce their military might. But enough agreed to make it work. 3 months later, the Avalon Accords were signed. It wasn't perfect. There were loopholes and arguments, but it was a start. However, Sarah paid a heavy price. When she returned to Earth, protests filled the streets. Half the planet called her a hero who saved humanity. The other half called her a warmonger who nearly started a galactic war. The military council that authorized the Harbingers was dissolved. Politicians demanded investigations. Sarah resigned from the diplomatic service. She was exhausted, carrying the weight of decisions that affected billions of lives. 10 years passed. The contested fringe became a thriving trade hub, where 3 former enemy species now worked together. Human peacekeepers trained alongside warriors from a dozen worlds. The Avalon Accords held, reducing weapons across the galaxy. On Earth, the last visible Harbinger platform was being converted into a monument and museum. Sarah attended the ceremony, now teaching at the new Interspecies Diplomatic Academy. A young student, a Pelexian named Crix, asked her, Teacher Sarah, do you regret building the Harbingers? Many say you brought us to the edge of disaster. Sarah looked at the platform being deactivated, its weapon systems being removed piece by piece. This fear in the fringe, the fear in the fringe, the moment space tore open to reveal humanity's secret might. I regret that we needed them, she said quietly, but I don't regret building them. The galaxy didn't respect us when we were weak. They feared us when we showed strength. But real respect only came when we proved we could hold ultimate power and choose not to use it. She smiled at her diverse class. Humans, Vrex, Skaroth, Pelixians, even one young Kaldreen. That's humanity's real secret, Sarah continued. Not the weapons we built, but the wisdom to know when to put them down. We showed the galaxy that being strong and being peaceful aren't opposites. They're partners. Crix clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. Is that why one platform remains active? The one in deep space nobody talks about? Sarah's smile didn't change. I don't know what you mean, but far away, in a hidden location known only to a few, one Harbinger platform remained fully operational. A final insurance policy. Humanity had learned to walk softly through the stars, but the stick remained, just in case. Because the universe had taught them one lesson they would never forget: hope for the best, but always prepare for the worst. And never, ever let anyone mistake kindness for weakness again.